Good evening, friends. I almost said good morning. I'm sure it's morning somewhere in the world. And this is Catherine. And my friends call me Kat. And so I thought it was too fun to not name my afternoon readings Chat with Kat because I am available for questions and I want to play Let's Pretend games with you, as you've known if you've watched a couple of these readings. So how I do this, why I do it is because the most fun thing about storytelling is the characters that are in the little stories. And so when I read for the collective, I often will pull into my mind somebody that I know, somebody is going through something similar to what one of you asked for when you ask for a reading. And so using my imagination well, really, I don't use my imagination. I kind of think my imagination uses me. And I think of ideas that comes up from somewhere. It's like daydreaming. And those card readings end up being inspirational. But a lot of people wonder about how they can get more love or more money or have a successful career. All those things are problem areas that people want advice on. And so because I get so many requests, that's what I specialize in. So I also like to give advice as well as tell the stories. So what we do when we come together is I pick a location, and tonight I'm picking a little bookstore in San Diego. It's called the Upstart Crow. And the Upstart Crow was one place when I moved away from San Diego, I grieved leaving a place. That is the most magical little bookstore. It has the best gift shopping. The coffee drinks are wonderful. Their pastries are to die for. It's the best place. Now, I don't live anywhere near there right now, but because I've visited there, I can pull it up into my imagination. It's as I were there. And that's part of building your own confidence. For you to be able to build in your imagination times that you were successful, times that things went great for you. Because right now, what happens with a lot of people is their imagination's filled with the disappointments and filled with frustration, and rather than enjoyable things. So here we are. I'm Catherine. This is Fish Out of Water Tarot, and I specialize in helping people feel comfortable in their own skin. Because whether or not you get what you want, reality is you have to live with yourself, right? So in the Upstart Crow, there's furniture that, you'd be in somebody's living room. And after you get your beverage, we could be gathering around. I have a little table set up in the corner. And I've been sitting there shuffling and looking around, people watching, waiting for you. Because I can be your personal reader tonight. And I'm more than happy to do that. When I'm in a location that is needing tarot readers, I will easily go to a farmer's market or somewhere where people gather, like wineries or art gallery openings, and I will be there giving my gifts for tips, because I just like to meet people and I love to do readings. So that's what happens here. And somebody has already given me a tip, so thank you for that, because the tips are the thumbs up when you get your, hey, Purple Bird, aura readings. Ooh, I do aura readings too. That's fascinating, isn't it, Purple? But anyway, so you just need to pretend that we are in a bookstore / coffee shop together. And just imagine that you have sat right down at my table and I'm asking you, what would you like? You get a 1-card reading. I want to see what the cards have to say about a certain question that you have. So Purple, do you have a question? Sometimes people just want to have like an overall energy selfie, like what's going on. But I am more than happy to pick a card for you. Okay, perfect. And I even have purple cards. So right away, Purple, I assume that you love purple, but I will tell you that these little tiny details, like your name is Purple, you're my very first client tonight, because yes, I take you personally. When I'm reading for you, it's as if you were sitting across the table, and when you do your aura readings, you like to connect with the people. So thank you for playing along with me. And so what life area or what quick question, the briefer the question, the better. Remember, this is only a 1 card reading. If you want a full reading, I'm here for you. And there's even a way you can get a free reading with me. I'll tell you about that in a little bit. Is the Capricorn Lewis wanting marriage, or is he just a friend? Ooh, okay. So that is, let's look at that. Everybody that's with me, good. Just take a breath. Okay. Now, sometimes in reading settings like this, because it's in public, what I might say is, what is it that Purple Bird, I love that, Purple Bird, what is it that Purple Bird needs to see today in this moment about this connection? What is it that he or she needs to be certain of? What is the part of her heart, his or her heart, that will be most guided? Because you'd never want to decide something like this on a single card. But what is it that you need to know about this question? Let's see what we have. Okay, let me just pull it into view. Wow, isn't that a wonderful picture? It sure looks like a family to me. How about you, Purple? What I see here is, okay, the reason I hesitated when I saw it, because it's got more than 4 figures. See the little kittens and the adults, and it looks like that's an elder cat, the one that's in the front, cleaning its paw. It just looks like the elder. And so your question is an interesting one. First of all, I have heard that many people have said that the very best long-lasting relationships are based in friendship, and that friendship is a core. Because if you aren't good friends, you really cannot go through the tough times, because you don't have enough let's keep objective. A little platonic energy sometimes can be very helpful when you're going through very tough times. But this does show a long-term connection. I've never seen the 4 of Wands depicted like this. So here's what I see for you, Purple. The wands are the suit of our passion, of course, and they're also the suit of our manifesting power and the fire inside of us that wants to cause expansion. So because it's the 4 that's very low in the suit, it goes all the way to the King. This is the Queen of Wands didn't come out here, or anything that was like exuding a lot of power. It's a very quiet energy. And the fact that I'm sensing these generations, my feeling was that there's something deeper. See, it could swing to a intimate partner. I think, I'm sensing, but it does not have anything close to the imagery that this card has in other decks, because this shows deep regard, respect, and deference, and it also shows a deep family connection. So if you're lifelong friends with somebody and you know their cousins and their mom and dad, and you're connected, this would support that 100%. Yeah, I would say that just the fact that I picked this deck, it's purple, both of those are nicely confirming for you, probably on a personal level. But the fact that this art shows a non-couple, but togetherness. Cool. I love this reading for you, Purple. Thank you very much. And I hope you'll toss a thumbs up into my tip jar, because I appreciate that so much. I love meeting people at these little events. And hello, Divya. Love guidance. Okay, very good. Are you single, or are you in a couple right now, Divya? And anybody that's watching, we're pretending we're in San Diego tonight. It's a little bookstore called the Upstart Crow. We're all having oh, by the way, be sure to go up and have a coffee drink, because they offer this service of doing these readings there, and they really appreciate your I really appreciate your business. So you can pretend, if you want to play along with me, you could tell me what you ordered at the counter. And if you wanted to bring me a latte, that would be awesome. Okay, thank you for playing Let's Pretend with me. It makes me so happy. Divya is in a relationship. All right, so let's just, everybody take a breath and join our energy for Divya. Divya, I'm so glad that you're here tonight. I really love doing readings, and I want to be your personal reader tonight. So when it comes to love within her relationship, what is it that will bring Divya the knowledge that she needs for today? Remember, this is just one single card. What could the story be? All right. Well, my goodness, Divya, what is going on at your house? Look at that. Okay, so I love this card to come up right now for you because the Five of Wands, interesting that we have had two cards coming up in the wand suit. So that would show me right now that the group that is being attracted here has a situation where there's a little bit of conflict, but it's not end of the world conflict. In our first reading with purple, there was like I could sense a conflict of desire, a confusion, conflicting sort of idea. What is best? How's the best to go forward? And here I can see that you guys, you and your person have friction in your relationship, and it's something that probably is got humor in it. Sometimes the things that you loved about the person when you very first met them, you adored that. They were cute, like their jokes were funny. Well, now they're not funny. In fact, they can hurt your feelings. That type of energy, might not be exactly what's going on for you. But it's important to realize that friction is a very important part of relationships. And there's two resources that I always give out because they're YouTube channels with excellent information. If you don't have friction, you can't light a match. If everybody tries to be nicey all the time, you won't have very good sex because you need friction to strike a flame. And so this card comes up when there's somebody in the couple who's taking things too personally. Because these are like kittens. They're just caught themselves up in a bunch of sticks and they're just playing. And if you've ever watched kittens play or puppies, it's a roll them, tumble over, and they bite on each other and they chew, and then they'll squawk and they'll snap it back at each other. That is what's going on. You have a very natural, normal, scuffling energy here. Now, if it steps out of line and somebody gets hurt, you know what I'm saying. That's a different thing. But Divya, I feel like there is great love there. There's just kind of a tiresomeness, a quarrelsomeness and a tiresomeness that's got you down a little bit. So here's what I think. Imagine that you're like in training and you do want to sustain this relationship. So right now, there's areas that you need skill in. Number one, how to let it go if it's just something silly. Michael Singer, very famous author, and he teaches how to let go. And I'm telling you, I love him. There's YouTube videos of, tons and tons of them. So Michael Singer. Secondly, Esther Perel, Perel. Esther Perel teaches about how you have to have friction in a relationship. That if you try to keep it too nice, it's not going to work. And so the trick is to learn the tools you need to do it in a safe way. And by safe, I just mean respectful. If you go into training for the Olympics or something, your trainer's not kind to you. If you want to just go to sleep instead of do 25 push-ups, they'll fight you on that. So if you have a partnership that's got a little bickering and it's got a little back and forth going, find a way to make it funny. I'm not kidding, because you have a spark in you and it's hard for you to be other than you are. Okay, Divya? There's one more, Jimmy on relationships. He's got a ton of shorts, and I'm not talking about his wardrobe, I'm talking about his ideas, but he's right on when he talks about the natural misunderstandings in a couple. Okay, so with those resources, you will definitely feel more supported, Divya, because the card shows us that you just don't have enough training, or there's some skills that you can learn to just navigate with your partner a little bit. because and looking in the mirror, like another thing I say to people sometimes, look in the mirror at your eyes, look right into your eyes and say, I'm 100% okay being with a person that's got a little bit of, what do we want to call it, a little sass. I'm 100% confident being with a person who speaks their mind. You don't want a boring person. You just need to learn some skills on how to connect, okay? So, hi, Viban. I see you. Oh my goodness, I would love to draw a card for that. But let me do a little commercial for myself first. I'm Catherine, and I do Fish Out of Water. I am doing work at Fish Out of Water, reading tarot for people in the pick a card fashion. I love it when my people who come to my readings, when you guys email me with a question, then I will use it for one of my themed readings because I need your ideas to keep this channel going. So anybody who wants to just email me your private question, that would be great. I'll email you back and I'll explain how it works, okay? So now we have, you're welcome, Divya. Thank you for putting something into the tip jar. That's my thumbs up over there. So everybody find that thumbs up and do some tipping because that's what I'm here for. We're pretending we're in San Diego. We're at the Upstart Crow. Wonderful little coffee shop right next to the airport, and they've granted us permission to come in and have some readings and get some beverages, have some pastries. Because playing Let's Pretend is one of the ways I make my life expand on the daily. Okay, so we have Viban. I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Okay, gosh. Sometimes when you're in a painful relationship, it needs to have an honest audit. You know how they do an audit where they add up all the money and they decide if the bills match? Well, it's kind of like that with relationships too, Vivan. There is sometimes when relationships turn salty, you know, it's used to be sweet and now it's salty. Sometimes it's nobody's fault. What has happened is that the magnetism that brought you together could not be strong enough to make it last a certain time. Now, that may be disappointing news to hear, but the truth is that if a relationship comes to the end of its life, it needs to have grace to celebrate what did work and make sure it's worth working on. So what I'm sensing here is that there is a lot of misunderstandings between you and your partner. In my heart, I feel it in my heart. In fact, all y'all who are watching, you could just put your hand right on your chest right now, because we all have been disappointed, haven't we? And somebody has hurt our, oopsie, I'm so sorry. Somebody's hurt our feelings. And so we can join you just with love right now, because it's not easy when you're in a salty relationship. Okay, so let's draw a card and just see what the cats have to tell us. I don't know why I picked cats for a theme. Do you guys like cats? For Vivan. Okay. This is such an interesting card. Oh, wow. The Knight of Pentacles. Well, I'm kind of blown away by this. What a I want to say mismatch, but I don't mean that to say you and your person are a mismatch. But if you think of a cat riding on the back of a goat, that doesn't seem to be a natural, right? It doesn't seem like something you would see somewhere. And so it looks like a mismatch. There's another sign of a mismatch here in, see the pasture, that farmland back behind here, way back there, it's totally brown and there's nothing growing. And yet in the foreground, there's lots growing. So, wow. The Knight of Pentacles is a very slow moving animal in this picture, but even in the regular tarot. Very cautious, considerate, wants to make sure everything's going just so. I have a feeling that the cat is representing one of you who can't go that slow. They are like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding. She wants to, he or she, that cat wants to be already there. And the goat's like, wait, I'm just making my way. So, um, but this is not a painful card like something that shows disaster. Not at all. So my gut feeling, Viban, is that the reason that the person is behaving badly is because something is not connecting between the two of you. You guys are very different, and it works when it works. And I think your heart, like when y'all first met and everything seemed like a really good fit, like everything fit. But I can see, like looking at the cat, like it looks like the cat's trying to fit on that covering on the goat, like the cat doesn't quite fit there. And so there's something that's shaking the foundation here, and you have to know, is there something worth keeping here or not? So today in this energy, there's so much signs of the fresh green grass. I think it's not the day to give up on it, I would say. Could I promise you next month? No. But I think that there's some skills you can learn around communication, and I can give you a resource, Viban. There's a YouTube channel called Charisma on Command. Charisma on Command, and they are terrific. They have 10-15 minute videos that teach how to communicate. And I think that you'll feel very uplifted because you're not alone. A lot of very smart people just have weak social skills. And as much as they want for people to understand them, they always seem to be saying the wrong thing. And so even your person, they're trying to communicate to you, but it's coming out as not how they intended. So this is a very unusual Knight of Pentacles. I absolutely love this deck. It's a new one for me. And I think the whole thing was for you, Vivan. I mean, this is to me a lot of hope. Green is the color of the heart chakra. I do feel like both of you, that cat's got green eyes, and she doesn't want to jump off. So I think if you take responsibility for getting more skilled with communicating, I think that will help. Okay. And there's another resource I always send people to, Jimmy on Relationships. He does fantastic short videos, and he's exactly right on. It may be, well, you know what? People say, I'm divorced, and people say, well, would you have stayed married if you knew these things back then? I said, hell no, I would have gotten divorced earlier. I didn't even realize it was such a misfit between us. We did get to a point where it became too uncomfortable to be a goat and a cat. But I think that they too can get along together. I really do, because love can pull it together, okay, for sure. So what an interesting reading. Please, anyone who's enchanted by these readings, I hope you do hit the thumbs up, because I do love to connect with you guys. I give my email address out here for you. You can ask me anything. And if it's something I can spin into a theme for my daily pick a card tarot, I do that in the morning. I would just love to do that. So please reach out if you need any assistance or have a question. So, hi, Faryal. It's nice to see you tonight. Would you like me to draw you a card? Let me sip my juice. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for filling my tip jar. I really enjoy connecting with you. And when I'm speaking to you, it truly is as if I'm your personal tarot reader. You can decide if this is a match for what your problem is or not. Sometimes in a collective reading, you'll hear only one idea, or even just the picture on the card means something to you. And so hi Uzi, how are you tonight? Got a question? Oh, Viban, yes, I would definitely check out the Charisma on Command, because I think that they'll teach you immediately how to see how you might be coming across. Sometimes when we're the most sincere is when they're misunderstanding us. Okay. And I mean, if you want to email me, I can guide you to some other resources. And I do personal work with people and help them to get through love issues. As a matter of fact, I do have a blog that's called Breakup Candy. and you can go look at it, breakupcandy.com, and it's all about restoration from brokenness in relationships. So you can take a peek over there. Fariel, welcome. Yes. Can you please tell me about my current interest person? So, all right. So you're with somebody right now, and you're wondering what if there's a future there, what it looks like. Um, is it a good thing to go forward? Is there anything you should know about this person? That type of thing. That sounds good. Everybody, let's take a breath together. Again, as I'm just shifting gear here and reminding you that we are sitting in San Diego tonight. Anybody been there? And there's a great little bookshop. It's called the Upstart Crow. It's got very unique, unusual books. The coffee shop, you can go in there and sit and drink coffee and look at things for hours at a time. And so tonight, that's what I'm pretending. I'm pretending that I am there. Then my table right here, and you guys, after you get your coffee, you stop by, and I invite you for a reading. Just one card, and then of course I'm working for tips, so hit that thumbs up, and that will delight my heart. So Fariel, let's see what's going on with your current love interest. What do we have? This card is pulling my attention. Okay. Oh my, this is really beautiful, isn't it? It is a beautiful deck. And it's just so fun to share it with you guys. It's my first night using this deck in my lives. Oh, by the way, when you order your reading, if you see a deck that you love and you want to have that deck, just make a note of this reading, and I will absolutely honor that request. So this is a very positive card for Ariel. So it does show that there is potential. There's so much, there's almost too much. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm trying to put words. It's almost as if it seems too good to be true. That's what it is. It feels like, could this be really as good as it is? And my eyes are drawn to the black and white cat in the background. Okay, so the black and white the black and white couple in the background, they're dancing together. See how they're kind of moving back and forth? So what it's showing me is that, Fariel, is that it's important that you guys find a way to speak gently but honestly with one another. At this point of the relationship, you don't want to be turning your back if you have conflict. You want to make sure that things feel soft between you, and that if you or your partner say things that hurt your feelings, remember, it could be from something that happened in your past. And they may have acted in a way that a more harmful person acted. But it's so important that you realize you do deserve this relationship. You have to trust that your inner being will guide you if it turns sour. But right now, some of the stress that you're feeling is just because maybe people in the past didn't handle stress very well. And now you have someone who truly wants to work it out. So today, with today's energy and a single card, it says steady as she goes, lots of great potential, and just wonderful, loving energy. But it's important that you and the person speak up for yourselves so you keep it growing strong, okay? What a beautiful card for you, Famiel. Okay, let me just go back here and see where I am. Okay. Love for BTS, can you tell me? I'm not sure he loves me or not. Okay. So love for BTS, isn't it something when you don't know if they love you or not? It is. And why is it that we can get a crush on somebody that really may not even be good for us? You know, I mean, who knows why we like that person? But the reality is that I always feel that your inner being, you're the part of you that's connected to the divine, which I believe everybody has. I always have to pull this over here just because I keep it on my desk to remind myself that I have a non-physical part of me, my inner being, my higher power, that really knows what's best for me. The little person there, well, that represents my personality, the cat, Catherine, the one who goes off on her own and doesn't follow the advice of her intuition sometimes. And then I have to come running back and go, help me, help me. That's the one. Well, that's what's going on with you. Okay, love? You have to realize that when you think you have a crush on somebody, that's a good thing. But now you want to put it to the test, and you want to be able to be smart about this. I always Google every person that wants to date me. And when I tell that to people, they laugh. And I'm like, of course I do. One time I found a terrible thing out about the person. Honestly, a crime. Can you believe it? But anyway, I always look into the person. I don't go in. I used to when I was younger. When I was younger, if they looked nice, that was good enough for me. God help me. But now I do, I'm careful. And also, it's better to have a person that somebody knows, that they can back them up and say, oh, I know that person, you'll really like them. But let's see what it is that you have for love for BTS tonight in this energy. And oops, let me turn it over. Okay. Okay, so here we have a card that shows burden. All right. So when we see that, that's not necessarily a bad sign, because we're built to carry things. And if the person is involved, if there's drama, you know what I mean? If it's hard, me personally, I prefer ease and flow. Okay? It looks like your situation with this person is not giving you ease and flow. There's a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of like changing your own direction a little bit because you like the person. So this is a card, it's kind of like a yellow light. It's be sure. So easy fix, honestly, love. Just grab a piece of paper and write down all the things that you very first liked about the person when you met them. Write down all of the best qualities. I liked him because he was this, 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 and this. And then just check in and see if any of those have changed. Sometimes by time it's like 2 or 3 months after you know a person, if you look back, you think, well, it's just not quite what I thought it was. And that's the way it's supposed to be. When you start to kind of wince or you cringe a little bit, or they do, that's just the universe's way of saying, okay, you've learned all you can here. It's not supposed to last forever, and it's time to put down the burden and walk forward. All right? So this just says, like I said, do a little audit, write down a list of what you liked about them when you first met them, because it felt great then, and then make sure that it's still at that level. Otherwise, it looks like it might be time for this one to end and a new one to start. Don't let that bother you. I always feel like when I give that kind of card reading, people are saying, yeah, but what if I like him? Well, go ahead and stay with them another 6 months, and then you'll be coming back to my table. All right, so wait, there's other people here. I do have my email address. That's the only way to contact me. And so write it down, because you can go to an internet cafe anywhere and use the internet. So be sure to email me if you wish to have me give you some resources that you can follow. Okay, so let me go over here and see who's next. Thank you so much for being with me tonight. Ruby, Ruby, your name is very special to me because it was my grandmother's name, and she was a very, very special person in my life. So whenever I meet a Ruby, I smile to my core. I'm glad to meet you, my friend. Okay, so Leo, and Daniel is Cancer. Is he coming back? Okay. I did, thank you for asking that. Now, there is, if you go to the channel, you can see there's a tab for the live videos. And I've done a couple on, I have one that's called, Do I Really Want My Ex Back? It's a pick a card, and I draw more, I think I draw 5 cards in that one. So if you're wanting more information, check that out, because a single card is what we're going to do right now. Is we're asking about this situation between you and Daniel. What is it you need to know right now? What message will bring you the most, the word comfort comes to me right now. Because honestly, it's so tricky, isn't it, Ruby? I mean, certainly you wouldn't want to decide on a single card, but it's tricky because there's always, oh my goodness, whenever this happens to me, hold on. That's my sign that somebody in the partnership or somebody listening to me, that you have trouble speaking your truth. Okay, some of you may feel pressure at the top of your chest, or your throat may even feel like it's closing right now, just thinking about it. So if that's you, go ahead and raise your hand, put it over your heart. So your thumb and your forefinger up towards the top of your chest, and just press gently. And take a breath. You and I are duplicating the exact same motion right now. Take a breath. It was almost like a wave hit my chest, and it hit my throat. So Ruby, I wonder, yeah, it's a very interesting mix, a Leo and a Cancer. So do email me, would you? I'll give you a couple resources, because Cancer's water and Leo's fire, right? So it's hard, it can be done, but it needs to be, it's delicate. It's just delicate because it's a volatile situation. But Cancers are wonderful people. They can be frustrating to a Leo. So let's just take a breath together, because these are two good people. I can sense that. So let's pick a card tonight. Everybody, let's think of Ruby and Daniel and see what is it that her guides and angels want her to know today around this situation. Wow. Isn't that beautiful? Wow, this is like exactly what I felt, because it's hard to not outshine one another. It is very challenging to be a Leo Cancer couple. So look at it's just like fire and ice, isn't it? And it looks snowy, but then you've got that peacock there. And so I'm not quite sure what to say, because this is really cool. So I'm just going to look at it. Ultimately, I think that you do have a good view on what's going on. I feel like I think this is a confirmation card for you, because you're very aware of the pressure of this relationship. And you've been kind of a controlling factor on the throne. And honestly, I feel like you're probably better off friends. It looks like there's so much mismatch of energy here that if you were to come back together, it would be like a fresh start. Absolutely, that's what I'm getting. Like if this breaks apart right now and goes into its separate energy paths, I mean, look how different it looks. And I think that whatever it is right now, I think my gut feeling is that you've been trying so hard to be just right, and that you miss who you are, but you love him, so it's tough. So for this kind of situation, I would there's in the description box, Ruby, there's something called the soulmate generator. So check that out, because it will give you a tool for you to just kind of write out. It's a journaling technique, but you can use voice to text, very handy. But just kind of talk through the machine. You'll see it gives you directions, but just talk through, dump some of the confusion that you have about this. My gut feeling is that if you guys started again, it would have to be fresh and new. It would be like you just met. It would have to pretend it never happened type of energy. So in order to do that, I think you might benefit from some time apart. It's again, if you email me, tarotinfo, please, at gmail.com, I'll give you some resources some of my YouTube people that I enjoy. Well, one I can tell you right now, it's the astrology guy. He's so good, so smart, and he will nail you because he put it. There's a video called what not to do on a date with a Leo. And so I watched mine as Scorpio. It says how not to act with a Scorpio, and it was exactly right, because if you piss off a Scorpio, they have their way. And so in your way too, when you're frustrated, you may slip into some passive aggressive shit. You know what I'm saying? So the astrology guy can really help you. But I do feel like I think that both of you are powerful beings, and indeed you might have something in the future, but right now it looks like you guys will be better off just, carving it out for yourself and allowing yourself to figure out what it is that you really want. Okay? I hope that I hope that resonates with you. Most of these readings are confirmation. It's like your spirit's already been telling you this, and then you think, how'd she know that? Well, I can't explain. The cards tell a story, and I know your intention to. I know that your attention and your intention draws a story from me just because it happens time and time and time again. Okay, Willem, I am happy to do a future reading for you. It's a one-card reading, and so if you guys want more cards, there's a couple ways to go about that. Number one, if you write to me your question that you wish you had lots of cards for, I will make a group reading out of it. And on Monday through Friday mornings, I do pick-a-card readings, and then I reward my client, my person, I reward you with your own personal reading at the end of the reading. Okay. And so far we've had several wonderful themes because your question is probably the same as 100 other people out there. Okay. So that's how to get a free reading. I also do personal readings, and you can email me and ask for a private reading. And that's when I make a recording up about 45 minutes or so, where I use several cards and tell a story that is personal just for you. And so those are the options. Okay. So, Willem, let me go forward and see here. I'm going to put timestamps in here when I'm finished tonight, so you can come back and listen to your reading again if you would like. Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Ruby. Okay, so next I'm going to do Willem. Yes, Willem, what I'm going to do is I'll just draw a card for what you're needing to sense about your future. Okay, so let me do that. And you guys, we're doing a pretend game tonight. We're in a coffee shop, and so be sure to order. And I've got my little table set up. This is a live reading. I mean, we could be in person. And I like to engage the imagination because I wish that I could meet you. It would be a lot of fun. So, Willem, let's pull a card for your future and see what we have. Oh, they're very nice. So, it shows collaboration and teamwork. So, this is a card that can be very valuable in all life areas, whether you're looking at your career or your relationships, or even travel plans. The Three of Pentacles, that teamwork card, where people understand that everybody does have a skill, everybody has a task, and they enjoy doing it. So there's not arguing, there's not, you know that saying, well, it's not my job. There's none of that energy. There's just like when people see something needs to be done, they're just doing it, and they're all working to a common good. Now I can't help but notice that little hole over there on the wall, that looks like, I wonder if I wonder where it leads. And the fact that it is such a small hole. So I feel like, Willem, I think there's something coming that's going to look like a small opportunity. And part of you is going to think, oh my, I wonder if I should take this. This might be not what I'm looking for. So with that being said, do some research about the company or about the people that you're tempted to go with. Doing your own research and finding out about them. Are there references? What's their success record? You can Google the company or the person, but I think you'll feel more comfortable when you know about them, because there's a very positive energy here about starting off small and getting your foot in the door. Okay? This is really a cool card. Also, I can't help but look at the black and white checked floor. And what that says to me is make sure you stay playful, take time for fun. It reminds me of checkerboard. So make sure that as you're working hard right now at this point of your life, make sure that you schedule in time for fun, because all work and no play makes cats dull animals. Okay? Very good. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for tossing into the tip jar. I love that. Very sweet of you. Let's see here. After Willem, I saw some other people. Narbada, something about the marriage, stay for long. Not sure what that is. So, and we have Missy wonders if the person that they're with is their soulmate. Isn't that, oh gosh, wouldn't that be nice if we could know for sure? What we do know for sure is that the person in your life is there for a reason. There's no question. And as you try to decide whether the person is, if whether it's sustainable or not, I love that word sustainable, meaning it's easy to prosper. In summertime right now, the plants are growing outside where I live, and the I've never had a cucumber plant before and it's like I have one, and it's growing a cucumber. It's so fast, I can't even believe it. You know, when the circumstances are right, when the conditions are right, and something prospers and grows, and that's the natural way. And we humans could learn a lesson from plants, because a lot of times we start to dry up in a relationship, or it starts to be not quite what we thought. And all of a sudden we're changing our own heart, and we're thinking about being in a relationship that we don't even like. We don't like the relationship anymore, but it's like too scary to start a new one because, oh, that's a drag, right? So the point is, don't fight nature, and notice what it is that feels best for you. And notice if your person satisfies those needs. You need to get in touch with what you really, really want in your own mind, and then decide. But let's pick a card and see. I can't help the teaching part, sorry. Oh, my hand is huge in there, gosh. All right. All right, what do we have here? Okay. Well, this card does show soulmate energy. Let's just put it that way. Okay, so with the soulmate energy here, and I love how it's black and white. Did you hear the reading early on, Missy, when I talked about the one with the wands where the cats were fighting with one another? That was, I think, the second or third. I'm going to put timestamps in here, but it's the same energy. It's like in this couple, there is the likelihood that there is a dance back and forth between black and white. And these cards come up for me when there's something about the person that you're with who is sarcastic or snarky. They think they're funny, and or they something like that, where in the beginning it was hilarious and you loved it, but after a while it gets old. And yet those people, the people that trigger laughter in us, are keepers for sure. And then I'm aware of that big black and white cat behind, and to me that signifies the divine, you know, like the spirit. So I think that in a way right now, today, it looks like this person is the one that you're supposed to be with, but it's your time of learning. How are you reacting? Are you overreacting in any way? Cats are not dogs, are they? Cats consider even coming close to you, right? A dog will jump on your lap without being invited. So this caginess, this carefulness, as you guys kind of dance around and get to know each other. And it's good. It's good that you are both strong in what it is that you're wanting. So I would say for today, keep working on it for sure. And I love, you know what, I can't help but be drawn to the two towers on either side and looking how different they are. And it just reminds me of staying in your own lane. And that's kind of, everybody says that, but I'm seeing artistic endeavor there. And I think both of you guys need to stay focused on something that's really fun to do outside of each other. You have to have something, if you get to work at something you enjoy, good for you. But if you need to pick up a hobby, painting or yoga or something, so that you have something that you do that is not with your person. I think that'll help give you some perspective. Okay? So there you have it. Now, again, with only a single card reading, and we're just here for fun, and I'm working for free because you're giving me tips in the tip jar. Thank you very much. That's the thumbs up. I would be glad to do a full reading for you. And there's people right in your town, probably just like me, or sitting in little bookshops all around your neighborhood. So get readings, they're fun. But also in this particular situation, there's a book that I really love, and it's by Steve Harvey, and it's called Act Like a Woman and Think Like a Man. And at first, when I heard about it, I I didn't understand, because I thought, why is Steve Harvey writing a book on relationships? He's a comic. But listen to this. This might help you, Missy. He teaches that there's 3 P's, that you have to have 3 P's from the man in a conventional hetero relationship, that your man will prove he's your man if he has the 3 P's. Wouldn't you like to know what they are? Okay, I'll tell you. They have to provide for them, they have to protect them, and they also have to proclaim them. Because if any of those 3 P's are missing, you're being fooled that they love you. And I love that, because I can't tell you how many people I've worked with over many years now, that they've provided lots of stuff, tons of gifts, provided trips, clothes, everything, and protect. I mean, the minute that car would break down, they'd be out there changing the tire. You know, they would not think of her walking down the street alone on some night. Protect, protect, protect. But when it came to proclaiming, no energy. No taking home to meet the family. No telling his friends he's dating them, right? So Steve Harvey, pick it up. It might help you, Missy, because that way you'll have a measuring stick. And he gives real good advice for how to get a man to pay attention. Because if they're not proclaiming you yet, if it's something like that, that you can communicate about, okay? And as my usual, always Jimmy and relationships here on YouTube. Excellent advice for relationships, okay? And then next here, we have a beautiful speech here. Let me look at it. Ninyaj. Okay, whoopsie. Trying to see if there's a beautiful proclamation. Thank you. Claymore. Leo Cancer. What now? Yep. Okay. You all are welcome. As far as the questions about the signs, you're welcome, Willem. Honestly, the guy who's named the astrology guy on YouTube, I've learned so much from him. He's very easy to listen to, and he gives very good advice. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm not an astrologer, but I do notice the personality types of the people that come to me for readings, and there's patterns and themes. And so I do respect the people who do astrology, and particularly the ones that are more storytellers and help you get over the flaws of being a Scorpio. I mean, Scorpios are not easy, trust me. Ask my family. Okay, whoopsie. All right, let me see here. Hi, I love Pete. Sorry for that break in the action, guys. I'm back, and we have Cordor. Can you please tell me when will I get married? Okay, so Cordor, what I always love to tell people about this is that while you're single, there's things that you can do to learn about life or by yourself and to really use your single time smart, because sometimes single people spend a lot of time wondering when they're going to be with someone when they could be learning how to do a skill or expand their own life. Okay, so I strongly suggest that you focus on how you can be the best soulmate that you can be. How can you enhance yourself so that you are a great partner? That's a great way to spend your time while you're waiting to find that person. I would love to refer, who can I? Oh, I'm trying to think now. There's a book that's called The Soulmate Secret. It's written by Ariel Ford, but I don't know. I have to find, if you guys know one, put it into the comments. Somebody, a YouTuber right now who teaches about getting a soulmate, because I need to find that for a reference for you. But anyway, what is it that will lift up Cordor's spirits and let them know what it is that they need to be focused on right now while they're hoping marriage will come soon? I can only assume that's part of it. And we have, let me get it correct here. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, it does look like this cat has gotten itself into a bit of a situation. Its claws are all stuck. It's hanging there. It didn't mean for that to happen. So what I'm thinking is happening for you, Cordor, is that you are stuck on stop. Something is stuck. Okay. And so you don't know what it is. It's probably one of your relationships in the past. See how the cat is stuck on the green curtains? The green is the color of the heart chakra. No kidding. So I really feel like, see that broom down there? That it's time to sweep out the cobwebs of your breakups in the past. Now, in the description box, you'll see something called the Soulmate Generator. Just click there. It'll take you to a page where you can start practicing getting rid of some of the disappointments in your past. This card clearly shows that you're not ready yet, because every time somebody touches those curtains, it's going to hurt that cat, right? The cat's claws are caught right in that curtain, so it's going to hurt to get it out. But the good thing is, when you use the soulmate generator, it's just a tool that'll let you tell the story of some of the heartbreaks in your past. I can't explain why it works, but it does. And then another thing that will help you is to do some tapping. I do tapping with my clients, but there are wonderful tapping channels on YouTube that I can find for you. So again, there you can Google it, YouTube search for tapping, or you can email me. I'm happy to connect you. But I would definitely do some work around clearing the heart before I date it again, because otherwise you might attract the exact same kind of person that broke your heart the last time. Okay, so I would say that in this way, it's going to be a little while before you get married, because I think that you'll feel better if you're more prepared and that your heart feels more ready. Okay, and live with my okay. So Santya, thank you for asking. So a very similar question from Condor, right? So I'm glad you were listening, because I hope you were. But anyone who really wants to be a soulmate, you want to have a partner, there are things you can do to prepare your heart. The soulmate solution, there's no cost, it's absolutely free. Tips are appreciated, but it's something that I created many years ago now, over 10 years ago, because I meet so many people that have had heartbreak, and it holds them back from love. And so I'm all around getting you the resources you need. If you want to work with me privately, I'm here for you. But if you need YouTube because it's easier and more convenient for you, I can point you in the right direction. All right. So I feel your heart, Sandhya. I feel your desire to be in a group, in a family, um, nurturing and loving people and helping them be their best selves. I can totally feel that energy. Let's see what the card is. So, Sandhya, it looks like there's been some kind of misunderstanding about what's possible for you. Very similar to the last card, because it seems like, I wonder, it seems like what you think being married is not what it is. And so this may mean that you have some memories from when you grew up, that it just, people that are married are like in jail. That people get married and they're not nice to each other. People that get married wish they weren't married. That's it. That's what I'm sensing. Ooh, my goodness, I just had a huge wave of energy, otherwise known as a belch, that just belched out of me. And that happens to me when energy's moving. So I feel like we're all kind of trapped, aren't we? With nightmare stories of stuff that doesn't work out. And we all talk about what we don't want to happen. We talk about how bad things are instead of believing that we can create something different. So that soulmate generator is going to really help you, Sandhya. I promise, because there's something mistaken about what you believe is possible in a relationship. So I'm trying to think, who would I suggest? I have to think about that. Ariel Ford's book is very good, but there's somebody else on the edge of my mind, and I will say it when it comes to me. But there's a story that I want you to consider. However, the main thing that I tell people when they're confused about their relationship future is just to work on being the best partner you can be. Um, Work on building your confidence. What skill do you have you could work on? What artistic thing could you do? Even if it's just coloring in a coloring book, but you want to be able to create a flow of positive energy. You'll really benefit from that. I love that. I love people. Well, I have a nice vacation somewhere. Ooh, I'm going to claim that for myself too. Okay, let me just see what I'm doing here. It's an hour, so I'm not going to go too much longer here. Okay, so for anybody that I'm not going to get to tonight, oh my gosh, you guys, look at y'all. I'm not going to stop looking. It freaks me out a little bit. No, I appreciate you guys, gosh, but I can't do too much. And so I am here in the afternoons, every afternoon, and then also in the morning at around, in Central Time, somewhere around 8 o'clock, and between 8 and 9, and then I come back in the evenings like this. If I don't get to your question tonight, please do email it to me, because I need y'all to be my teammates and help me build a really good library of readings for people. So when you write me your question, I will create a reading for you. There'll be 3 piles that I'll create different stories, and then I'll do a personal reading for you, and I'll pull your cards, okay? So please do that. I would love it. And I love, this is our last card of the evening, and it's going to be about vacation. And so I love people. Thank you. I don't know if you've been here when I've been saying that part of the style of these afternoon readings, the chat with Cat readings, are going to be pretending that we're different places around the world, so that if some of us can't travel because our lives are not in that place, we can use our imaginations and go there. So I love that the final reading tonight is about vacation. So I would say the answer is yes, of course. If you desire it, you shall have it. But let's get serious and see what the cards have to say. I will tell you that I had a vacation. I had 2 vacations. The first one, when it happened, I'm not kidding you when I tell you it was a shock because somebody offered me a free cruise. I love people. Can you believe it? I had met a young man, actually bought a car from him, and he was so sweet to me. And he even took me to the license plate place, and he helped me get the license for the car, and he put the license on the car. And it was a little Toyota Celica convertible, adorable, 1989. And so we had such a good visit. A couple weeks after I bought the car, he called me up and he asked me if I would meet his mom, who was retired and had been caring for her sick husband for a long, long time, had never had a vacation. And long story short, first he put me on a hot air balloon ride. No kidding. Because he wanted his mom to have a happy 70th birthday and he didn't want her to go alone. So he picked me. And it was a bucket list thing for me. And then get this. A couple weeks later he calls me and he said, Catherine, I want to send my mom on a cruise and I want you to go along. And I said, sorry, I can't. I have no budget for a cruise. And he said, you don't understand. I want to send you on a cruise. I want to take care of your expenses. Believe me, I was stunned. Believe me. So if you want to travel, you just don't know I love people. You never know what could show up at absolutely no cost. And that's something. Anyway, that same family sent me on a second cruise. So you can get on a track where you are in the right place at the right time, and life becomes very interesting. So let's see what your card is. I love your name. I love people, by the way. And we have, let's see. Ooh, we have the 9, right? Yeah, 9 of Wands. Okay. Well, I would say that this card immediately for me, what it says is that you are being held captive by your own limiting beliefs about travel. Excuse me while I hit you right between the eyes, my darling. I love people. Okay, so I see in you a lot of strength, but your friends might even think that you might be a little rigid. I hate to use that word, but you know what I mean? But you just like order and you like when things are in a row. It's just easier for you. But I look at that wand, that the tail, that cat has removed one of those wands with only a tail. And that looks to me like an escape hatch, okay? And look at how it looks out there. It's just expanse, beautiful green expanse. And you can't see a city out there. So it just has this expansiveness. But what's holding that cat back? Cats can slip through really small openings, don't they? They can just slip right through. So what we have here is your desire for a nice vacation somewhere may be limiting you. Right now, there may be places in nature right near your home, right in your city, that will feed your soul. And so I feel you're being called to, I'm going to use the word abandon, but to abandon your current fantasy vacation desires. I mean, the let it go message, Michael Singer, love him so much. I mean, he's snarky and funny. I love him. But he teaches so clearly about what it doesn't do that much good to try to form fit our life to our own design, that we do have a higher self, and our higher self truly does know what will delight us. Okay, so this kind of shows me that your heart for adventure is 100%, like your desire to have some sort of exotic, some sort of freedom, some sort of feeling of that expansiveness. However, you don't need to be on a nice vacation to find it. All right, so just be willing to lay down the structure, lay down some of the, I feel like this demanding this, but it's what you call it, discriminating. I mean, you want to have things a certain way, but I think you might be blocking some good vacation energy. All right? I hope that makes sense. Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you again for another wonderful evening of Pick a Cards. I had so much fun being with you all. Thank you for hitting up the tip jar. Thank you for coming back and visiting me again and again. Still, most of the people that pass through are not subscribers yet, so I do invite you to subscribe so you'll be notified next time I go live. And it just means a lot to me personally, because if you could come to my table, I would do a reading for each and every one of you, because A of all, you'd have dollars for my tip jar. No, just kidding. But also just because I enjoy it so much. So if you'd like more cards drawn, email me. I'm your girl. I'll definitely do a reading based on your question for the collective. And then after the reading's over, I will pull cards for you personally. All right. So go forth and prosper. Have a beautiful evening. And I'll see you at the next reading. Love you all. Oop, that's a giant heart, half a heart. See you next time.